Hello, today is April 23rd, 2020. It is about 8:30 at night, and this is my daily COVID-19 update. So in America, the confirmed cases as of right now is at 864,000, with the deaths at 47,000, roughly 900. New York is now at 271,000 cases, and North Carolina's at 7,700. So there's still roughly 25,000 new cases a day. But again, it's not increasing, but it's not really decreasing too much. It's kind of stabilizing. It's flattening the curve, I guess is what they call it. Anyway, that's the thing. The big news from today, as far as like some changes that are happening, is in North Carolina, as far as how they're going to handle, the State Board of Education is going to handle grading, especially for different students. So I've got a daughter who's a junior in high school. She's in 11th grade. And right now, what they've said is they've agreed upon really 4 options for students. 4 options. They can take whatever grade they've earned on March 13th, which was the last day they actually met with classes, and have that be their final grade for this semester. Now, they have been doing online classes, but not every student has been able to get online and whatever. So my daughter's been going online and doing schoolwork. So the second option is they can take whatever grade they had on March 13th and then add in whatever work they've done now to see that raise their grade. And then they can choose that as a letter grade. Or they can choose something called a passing grade. I think they call it PC-19, where they can just say, hey, look, we passed the course. It doesn't impact their GPA, and they just get credit for taking the course. Or they can do WC-19, which means they are withdrawing from this class. It doesn't negatively affect their GPA, but they do have to take the class again. So that's the 4 options that they're going to take. And it's good. I mean, there's no one solution that's going to fit for everybody. And the conversation we had with our family is like, well, so my daughter was doing really well on March 13th. So she could just take those grades and say, good, I'm good to go. It doesn't really matter what I do from here on out. Because what's the point? You know, if I've already got good grades and I'm already going to get good grades on my point, should I continue to do schoolwork? And that is then, again, the educator in me. And again, that's not her, that's just a valid question. It's not her being belligerent or anything like that. But it brings up the question. It's like, well, because really that shows a problem we have with our society, that grades equals education. And that's really not the case. You know, the whole point of education is to become a better you, to become more knowledgeable, to become a better member of society, to understand the world around you and stuff like that. And the fact that they're continuing to teach and give assignments where you can learn and grow and develop as a person really should be its own reward. But unfortunately, it's not. So that's, problematic. And that's something that we're kind of seeing also at the collegiate level, where we have students saying, hey, as long as I can get, a passing grade, I can really slack off on the work that I'm going to be doing. Now, there are those who actually need this because of their circumstances, where they just are doing all they can and their grades are not going to go up. But it's just that trying to convince somebody, a college student or a high school student, that, hey, look, learning in and of itself is its own reward, that's a pretty tough sell in the way that we have our world set up right now. And it's tough. It's a tough situation. It's just this COVID-19 thing. It's shown how much it's had such an impact on how the world works. I mean, for example, we have a budget for car gas, okay, for driving to and from work. And I don't necessarily have to give the numbers, but we have a budget for every single month of what we do. Well, last month we spent like 10% of that budget on car gas, because we just didn't drive anywhere, and what they're finding around the world is that pollution is down. wildlife is kind of like coming back into populated areas because they just, without people around, they're just kind of going back to doing their thing. It's like, they're in areas, they're seeing animals they haven't seen in a long time because there's just not human intervention that's causing it. So interesting how this little kind of reboot of the world, I guess, with COVID-19 is giving us a chance to kind of see things that are going wrong in the world or how things are working, and really what happens if we kind of work together to make things better, because right now they're not. Anyway, those are the thoughts for today.